Hi folks, today I want to talk about the collar that I make and use on the dogs while training. I start out with a piece of paracord, and I'm going to use my leg as if it was the dog's neck to show you how I measure this out. Years ago I used to order this style collar, but I really did not like people just learning how to handle dogs on a nylon collar like this. I got rather uncomfortable. I don't like a noose around a dog's neck, especially in the hands of a beginner. So I started to make what is called a martingale style. So I start out with the nylon, the paracord, and I burn the ends, all right, to get them neat looking. All right, so there's a rough looking edge. I just clean it up a little and go ahead and melt that down, clean it up. All right. The ring is only a ½ inch. I can't find those in hardware stores that size, so I order them. So I put it through the loop, put it through the ring, and then I start wrapping the cord around the length of the rest of the cord. Then I make a hole there and I put the end through it. This is a self-tightening knot. I learned this knot when I started to fish and put lures on a fishing line. So I'm sure there's a name for this type of knot. I don't know it, but it is a self-tightening knot. I've never had them come off when they're done properly. All right, so I make sure that's secure and I slide that up there. Then I measure it so that here's my leg being the neck of the dog, and I want the rings to almost come together. So I fold down that, and that's going to be the spot. I want it actually a little bit here because when you put that knot in, it will shift and it will end up longer. So I always start out a little on the tight side. So that's where I'm going to want my ring, right there. So I put the second ring on, I give that fold right there, and I make that knot. I wrap, and then I put the end up through here. And now this is where you're going to lose your measurement as you start to tighten that up. So I do the best I can to try to keep that measurement pure, but don't, you're going to fuss with it a little bit. And eventually your collar is going to stretch anyway. The material is going to stretch. So you're going to have to go ahead and take that knot out and adjust anyway. And the way I take that knot out, this knot is very forgiving. I always have a pair of needle nose around, and even if that collar has been worked and that knot is really tight, I just go ahead and take that needle nose and break that knot, soften it up, and take it out. But I'm not going to go ahead and take it out at this point. Now, let's see how we did. Okay, that's great. They don't come together. I take an extra piece of cord. I attach the two rings. And now I make a very traditional knot. I'm sure you've all made this knot. You just meet the two ends, you wrap them around themselves, and you put it through and tighten that up. And the knots stay better if you work with wet material. If you wet all this, the knots would stay a little bit more pure. All right, I don't want this part to be real long. All right, so now I have to slip it through my... All right, and when I tighten it up, I want it to be tight on my leg, those rings coming together. It would be more true to this size here. Can you see it? Did I get it up there? More true to that, so when it's pulled tight, these rings don't come together. Because I don't want this collar slipping over the dog's head. A properly fitted collar is when the collar is tight, going right through the biggest part of the skull of the dog, and as it gets past those ears and up high on the dog's neck, that spot is smaller than this spot. So don't think, oh, my collar's too tight. You want to get it squeezed past that and then over there, And that's the collar that I use to get the effectiveness of my pop when I give. The you minimize correction when you maximize the effectiveness of your equipment. So this is the equipment of choice for myself, and I hope that helps. God bless.